as being a leader, trying to get better as being a mentor, running these live sessions, all that stuff. So I'm constantly trying to improve. I value all your opinions. So if you guys have anything to add, please tell me. And I will sure like keep it in consideration and start implementing it if it makes sense. And I'm sure it will. But I'm constantly trying to involve as well as being a mentor for you guys. So certain things I'm going to be adding, you're going to see certain changes for the good, right? All these changes are going to be for the good. And it's going to benefit you guys as well. So, anything I do is going to benefit you guys. But right now I'm going to start doing something like this right here, where you guys have a good idea of what happened overnight, also the previous day as well. So some of the headlines that were going out, instead of just like breaking down the economic calendar, looking at these numbers, the fundamentals and what's going on in the world right now. So right now, obviously it's Wednesday, February 23rd. The main movers right now, obviously, are Eastern Europe. So just so you guys know what's going on, Russia, which is Putin, basically, has given the go-ahead to invade Ukraine. I announced this in the fundamental chat over here yesterday. If you guys take a look. Takes forever to load. There you go. White House declares Russian invasion in Ukraine. I follow this Instagram account. It's called Waraholics. I know it sounds ridiculous, but it's just like a bunch of crazy videos of like either war, battles, stuff like that. I've always been into the military. Don't ask me why. But so I saw some videos of shells being dropped in Ukraine yesterday. Which were pretty alarming. But that's what's going on right now. So that Russia is starting to move they're bringing more vehicles, more troops around eastern Ukraine right now, and they're starting to move in. So obviously that's not good. We're going to go over gold in a second and why I think what's happening right now with gold, instead of just like shooting up, I think, to put it short, I think we're pretty much priced in with what's going on after reaching 1900. But anyway, after this happened, the US and Canada so far has announced sanctions on Russia. I expect the rest of Europe to do the same pretty soon, within the next couple of days. And then also I have this article right over here talking about the Russian economy and the key takeaways away from what's going on right now. So your brewing tensions between Russia and Ukraine has escalated rapidly. This comes after Putin on Monday ordered troops into two breakaway regions of eastern Ukraine after announcing that he would recognize their independence. So he basically faked them out. All right. The White House has responded by levying a number of sanctions in the region. But pay attention to this. The Russian economy ranks outside of the top 10 in the world. And while it is known for its exports of oil and gas and other resources, its trade volume is relatively small compared to the countries of the same size. Russia has also been making defensive moves to minimize damages from financial sanctions, especially after the round imposed in March of 2014 following the conflict with Crimea. That was a while ago. I remember that happening too. I wasn't trading at the time either, but I remember that happening. But anyway, their main exports is gas and oil, right? So if they get sanctions put on them right now, that's going to hurt their economy, right? So obviously none of us trade any kind of Russian pairs, I don't think, but I don't think you guys would either. But that's going to affect our economy pretty bad if they're doing this and we put sanctions. But we'll see if they take any more physical action as far as military action once they get into Ukraine, if they move west. Because all these nations like Poland, Ukraine, Bolivia, all these countries on the eastern side of Europe are all blocking Russia from Europe. It's like their border, basically. So it's in Europe's best interest to help Ukraine. Now, one thing about Ukraine, I know they sound so innocent and all that stuff, but the citizens are, right? I feel completely bad for the citizens, but Ukraine is very known for being one of the most corrupt nations in the world. If you look at their prime minister and the actions that they take, they're one of the most corrupt nations, probably top 5 in the world right now. So anything that they do, you can't really take them too seriously. And it's very interesting what's going on with the U.S. administration right now. If you guys pay attention to politics, the way Biden is handling all this and so much forward coming as far as like having their back and everything, you have to understand that there probably is money involved with Biden, because there has been past with Ukraine and Biden with Belidnikov. I forget how to pronounce the guy's name, but he was the prime minister, and him and Biden have a lot of dealings right now, and it's obviously in Biden's best interest to back them up. Not to mention that all our allies in Europe. But anyway, back to the headlines over here. U.S. and Canada announced sanctions on Russia. U.S. equities officially enter corrective state. If we go over to our teletrader over here, if you take a look at the Dow right now, the Dow right now is below 34,000. So if we take a look at the chart for the Dow, this is not good for the U.S. economy, especially with what's going on next month with the increasing rates, right? If we increase rates, you lower GDP in the United States, which will now hurt the economy. So this is the Dow. We reached all-time highs back in January, right? Tapped all-time highs, and we've been in this corrective state ever since, printing lower lows, lower highs over here, and now we're right back at the support over here. Can I chart on here? I put like a, yeah. So maybe we're not actually in the corrective state. I think once we close below 33,000, that previous support over here, then we'll be in that corrective state. And I think once we increase rates, that's going to happen, right? So we're actually breaking below some of these supports over here, all these wicks over here, this support over here, all these rejections. We're now closing below with this previous candle right over here. This is the weekly. Looking at the daily. And if you guys don't know what teletrader is, I highly recommend you guys take a look. It's a cool database thing. I don't know why they're not giving me. I don't know why that's not working. Oh, there we go. So we ended up closing below the support right over here, right? And it looks like we're coming up to retest. Can we be retesting and then continue right back down to fill this wick, right? It doesn't matter what market you're in. If you're looking at charts, they all pretty much move the same exact way, right? If you can break down basic price action, you're going to be able to read just about any kind of chart. That's why I always encourage reading price action, studying price action, and understanding where price is going. I feel like we might easily come into, 100%. We may break 33,000. And if we do that, we're in that actual corrective state, and not going to be good. All right. So next thing, yesterday, U.S. manufacturing and services came out higher than expected, along with consumer confidence. So taking a look over here, we have 57.5 for manufacturing, so all goods that were sold, and then services, which is basically movie theaters, restaurants. That's really how our economy is run, especially when it comes to jobs, right? A lot of our manufacturing is actually placed in China, where we don't have as much of the we don't have as much jobs over here depending on manufacturing. I wish we did. We should, right? As far as exports go and stuff like that, but most of our jobs are in services. So both of those came out good, which is a good thing. And then consumer confidence was high as well, higher than expected. It was lower than previous, but higher than expected, which is good, right? Final things over here. So overnight now, good Daniel coming in. See if that works. Overnight, what we had was the Reserve Bank of New Zealand raised rates by 25 basis points to 1.0. So obviously, if you're trading any kind of NZD pairs, you're going to see the bullish trend on any of these pairs. I haven't actually taken a look at the charts yet, but any of these pairs, because I don't trade any of these pairs. But just so you know, that is going to be very bullish. And if you actually take a look at they call market milk on baby pips over here. You take a look at NZD right here. It's the strongest currency out right now, right? Australian dollar right behind them, because they're probably going to be following the same policy. So if you take a look, when they increase rates, Reserve Bank of New Zealand raised rates from 25 basis points to 1.0, that's going to raise the value of that currency. Not only that, but the Reserve Bank of New Zealand, Governor Orr, spoke at a news conference yesterday about a possible 50 basis point increase, right? Now, what's interesting also, I know you guys don't really trade these pairs, but in Australia, some of their data came out yesterday. It's showing that negative real wages are coming out, meaning that wages are not catching up to inflation. Inflation is much higher now than what people are making, which is not good. If you have a steady rate if you're making, let's say, $1,000 a week from your job and inflation is rising, now your buying power is much lower, right? You're not going to be able to buy as much. If you don't have a skill set like you and I do, right, where you can multiply money in the market and you have a steady wage every single day, and inflation is rising on a regular basis, on a monthly basis, this is not good, right? You're losing purchasing power, and that creates this stronghold on the economy. It creates a stronghold on everyone living in the economy. So anyway, these are the headlines for what we had yesterday. Obviously, the main ones in bold with Eastern European tensions right now, but also a lot of these New Zealand rates being hiked. That's going to signal to other markets like or other central banks like the Fed, the Bank of not Bank of Australia, but drawing a blank here. Bank of England, you got the European Central Bank. All these banks, they're going to see New Zealand raising their rates. How is the economy affected, right? And they basically go by that. So they're like the puppet right now with raising rates to see how their whole economy is affected by it. And then after that, they'll go in and possibly raise rates or maybe even hold back. All right, so that was our headlines for the day. Daniel, what's up, brother? I don't know if you could speak. But anyway, for today, we have monetary policy. This came out today. Other than that, we don't have too much going on. We have an MPC member speaking later on tonight, or later on today, actually. But other than that, you got core PCI that came out regular, just as expected. So nothing, no big changes over here. Appreciate it, man. I'm doing well, Daniel. Got Raphael coming in. Awesome. So let's move over to the charts now. We'll take a look at GJ and gold. We'll start with GJ. All right. So I'm just going to move this over here. Raphael, what's up, brother? Rafa.
Good morning.
Rafa Nadal. How you doing, buddy? How was work?
Good. I go to work tonight. So
you didn't work tonight?
No, yeah. So I didn't work last night. I worked tonight.
Awesome, man. So you're able to rest a little bit.
Yes.
Awesome. So as of now, you guys know how the higher time frames work over here. Taking a look at GJ over here, we have a multi-year downtrend, which we are now breaking over here. If we have a further economic recovery, just like we had back in 2012, 2013, right? Very similar price action over here. Can we expect the same exact thing after COVID, right? Ever since COVID, we took that tank. We've been in this recovery phase ever since. But right now we're holding support, and also it looks like we're holding a hard resistance at 156. We need to break above that, which is what we were just talking about. We'll mark off a few things like our lows from 2008, which were never broken after Brexit, never broken after the central bank. So that tells, or never broken after COVID. But that tells me that the central banks are involved with something like that, where they never want anything like 2008 to happen again. That was terrible, right? We people went hungry. That was horrible. COVID, same exact thing. People lost jobs, all that stuff. But we've been in a recovery ever since because central banks have taken action as far as stimulating the economy, making sure that everyone's good. But how long is that going to last? How long is printing money going to last? Where, for instance, the United States printed 40% of, their total money in the total monetary or money in the market or in the circulation. They did all that in the last 2 years. So what kind of effect is that going to have in the long run for the US dollar, for the Great Britain pound, for the euro, right? They all stimulated their economy. So we shall see over the course of time over here, but we're just going to mark off a few of our levels over here, specifically the current range that we're in on the higher time frames. So we are sitting between 149, very simple, and then 156, which is what I just mentioned. All right. So as I was just talking with Kevin about, this current, we're coming close to the end of the month, right? We're in the back half of February. So right now, what you already had was a bullish run from this area, 154, 154. Let's see what level that is. Like 154, 500, 600. We ended up pushing up at the beginning of February all the way back up to 158 because we got another rate increase, right? So that was all priced in. We retested 158 up here, and the current February candle is very bullish. Still sitting above 156. Now, what we were talking about before is we've rejected 156 the past 4 months over here. So are we going to do the same thing again? Are we going to end up closing below this level right here? Or are we going to close above and then possibly retest it to continue right back up? Or what you could possibly have is a close above and then a fake out where prices comes right back down again. And that, that would be, let's see, why would that happen? That would be tensions in Eastern Europe where, the United States goes to war, Great Britain has their back, the euro has their back. You're going to see the Great Britain pound drop, right? That's going to be a main focus to that. If we continue to increase rates and we have success with that, where the economy doesn't take a tank as back in Great Britain, then you're going to see GJ rally, right? But again, further fear in the market, you're going to have people pulling their money into the Japanese yen, and you're going to see this continue to drop or continue to at least range in this area. Right, so just keep that in mind on the monthly. Looking at the weekly, we're going to mark off a few of our levels over here. I would say 154, 153, 300. Paul had to go to work. Cool. So what we had was very similar price action, bringing us right back down to actually 149 over here, where we had this, right? Where that was we had price holding support here, pushing us all the way back up to 158, anticipating a rate hike. Buyers took profit, sellers took over. They never ended up increasing rates, and we dropped all the way back down to 149. Then what happened in December, we had a surprise rate hike, which pushed us all the way back up to 158, right? Then we had very similar price action where buyers cashed out, sellers took over, bringing us right back down to 153. Then we had another rate hike where we held support over here and we shot right back up to 158. So obviously 158 is a very significant level. And then we have 157, which are these candle body highs. Almost had it. So right now we're sitting between 156 and 157. That's all you need to know. You're looking at very weak candles. These were stronger candles pushing up. This candle got weak with a tall upper wick, right? Small body, tall, big upper wick. Now this candle closed the doji. This candle is very indecisive of where it wants to go right now. We're just sitting right above 156. We did break 156 yesterday or the day before. Yeah, it was the day before during Asian session. We broke 156 on Monday, and now we're right back above it. So we're just like teetering around this area right now. So you obviously know this is a big range. Looking at the daily, again, held a perfect support right over here. You got this candle closing bearish, but with no bottom wick right at this level. We ended up passing the low right away, creating this bottom wick, and then we ended up closing bullish with a wick to fill. This candle ended up passing the high of that candle, creating this top wick, and it looks like we're retracing right now on the daily. So are we going to end up rejecting some area up in here to then continue to range around here? I can see it. All right, I'm being very selective on GJ this week and last week and the week before because we were so indecisive and rangy, very similar to this over here. So can we end up getting a support held right here, kind of like what this candle did? And then actually looking at this wick right here, could this wick be similar to that wick? It's just on a different candle where the next candle ended up closing bullish above that area. And then this candle ended up passing the high, but then closing bearish below it. This candle passed the high of that candle right here, right? Can we be flipping bearish and closing right below 156? If that's the case, you maybe get a retest over here, and we could continue right back down to fill this wick, and continue right back down into certain levels right in here. Does that make sense, guys? So far, you guys are all following along?
Yes.
Awesome. Do you guys all see the same thing? Does anybody see anything differently on the daily right now? Because we are still holding support, so maybe that doesn't even happen and we continue to drive up. But what is Kev, what do you think?
Oh, you told me to Cat.
Oh, sorry, I didn't. Yeah, did you say Cat or Kevin?
I was saying Kevin, but we could go to Cat right after.
Okay.
We'll go right down the line as far as like what do
Oh,
you guys, because we have a very rangy market right now. We're not missing anything.
I'm still not looking at GJ personally, so
Okay, cool.
I'll
But
just answer that there.
there you go. So you're basically in the range of like, you're not taking anything in here and you're just waiting for the breaks above and closes above on the daily now.
Yes.
Okay, cool. How about you, Kev?
Well, with me, based on the daily, right? It did make a support level there yesterday. Can I annotate?
Of course.
Annotate. It did make a support over here after breaking these levels over here, right?
Yes.
So on the 4 hour,
You want me to drop
I
down?
would be, yes, please. Yes, please. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yep.
So on the 4 hour, what I saw, what I'm looking at right now is this level, this level over here. This level served as a resistance level.
Yep.
A very strong resistance level on this move here. So since price went up, down, up, and then now it looks like it's going to break below this level over here, there could be potential, in my view, to get to this level over here. So that's why I'm saying I'm waiting for GJ to show its hand. If it does that, that's a potential play for me. But if it doesn't, then I'll just sit on the sidelines
100%.
and then just continue to watch.
I like it. Yeah, we're sitting right between 600 right here
Mhm.
and 200. Actually, we could go even more left over here. We have this support as well. So we're basically sitting right inside this range right here, where you need this range to basically break on the higher time frames if you want to take anything. Me personally, you probably want to wait for something like this to break over here, because it's when we had on Monday, we actually had this price break. We had 156 break, which is what we were looking for. Then what we had was a possible retest during Asian session, and then you get a nice bearish close over here, but it did pass the high of that candle, right? And it passed the low. So you have some indecision in there. What are the chances after that you're going to come down and retest this level? Your chances decrease a little bit, right? It's not that they decrease drastically, but they decrease a little bit when you have the indecision in this candle right here, right? If this candle had a top wick, which was higher than the previous wick or the next wick right here, there's a very high possibility that we could come down and fill that wick and continue right back down to this 400 level, 155, 400 level. You got that level over there as well that we could come down and retest, right? But we ended up ranging in here and then coming right back into the range, which is now another place where, what did we say last week? We don't want to touch anything in here, really. You want to be very selective in here because it's very clear to you that once we break this area, you got a nice clean move to the left over here. Now, this is starting to get a little hairy in this area over here, even though you got the clean move to the left. You could possibly take something right down here, but you need the setup to present itself. Maybe safer sells are going to be below here to then continue down. So just be very selective on GJ. Now, if you guys were trading full time already, you guys wouldn't be making any money, right? This is why I always suggest to have those two pairs, right? This is why I have gold. Gold has been my main pair for the last like 2 weeks. Now, this doesn't mean you need to have one pair and then switch from one pair to the other pair to the next pair. And like a lot of traders begin to do that where, they'll start to get impatient with their pair and they'll say like, GJ doesn't move during New York anymore. I'm not going to trade New York. I'm going to trade London now. Right. And then all of a sudden it turns around and London is the ranging market and New York is the good market. And then they're back and forth. They're just playing ping pong with their emotions, so you need to stay steady. You need to stay non-emotional. Well, every decision that you guys make, keep this in mind, every decision you guys make are always going to have emotions involved in it, right? The key, though, is to keep those emotions back as much as possible. A lot of people have an 80 to 90% emotional decision system where you need to bring that down to like 10% and make the rest logical. Right. So that's big in life, not just trading, but it's going to help you a lot in trading. If you take emotions out as much as you can, it's going to help you a lot. But anyway, it's the same exact thing with pairs, right? One week, GJ will be ranging. Gold is moving really well. You know what? I'm not going to trade gold, GJ anymore. I'm going to go to gold. And then the other thing happens, right? So stay steady. Have those two pairs. Know when to trade one. Know when to trade the other. And what times to trade, all that stuff. Rafa, Daniel, do you guys have any thoughts on this so far? Or are you just staying out?
I'm staying out. I've been staying out since pretty much, the last 2 weeks because it's just ranging.
Cool. Very simple, right?
Yes.
Awesome. Daniel, don't be afraid to unmute yourself. You can let us know what you're thinking on this.
No, I'm not taking any trades on GG.
Okay, cool. You're just staying out. I like it.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'll be looking at the
you guys are being smart. So right now, again, very rangy. Just take a look at these wicks right here. See all these wicks? You just don't want to be involved in anything like this. It's just best to stay out. There's a lot of indecision, not much going on. Look at this range over here. All these wicks, right? Terrible. You don't want to be trading in that. So right now we're just gonna keep it the way it is right now. We are in this bullish trend since what's it called? Since faking out 156, right? So we'll see if we end up continuing bullish, but at the same time, you probably don't have anything until you break this area right here. And even if when you do, I mean, if we do break this area, I could definitely see us tapping into 157 because we've just been playing ping pong with this range over here. You got about a 28 pip range right over here. So possibly taking that and then possibly heading right up to 157, 100 to retest these highs up here, maybe fill this wick. But at the same time, you need clear price action, and it's probably best to just stay out of this. All right, moving on over to gold. Our better pair as of late. We're going to break this down, map out some of these trend lines over here, and then some of our key levels. $16.80. If you guys go on your own and take a look at the daily on gold, you know that we have double bottoms forming over here where price has been rejecting. Now, again, the fundamentals behind a lot of these moves, Trump came into office in 2017, a lot of tensions with China. We had the what's it called? At the beginning of 2020, we had the indecision when it comes to Iran bombing Soleimani and killing Soleimani. That almost caused World War III with Iran and the US. And then, of course, beginning of 2020, COVID just shot us up to all-time highs. After that, buyers cashed out. We went into this recovery phase where we're starting to learn about this thing, starting to understand what's going on. End of 2020, we ended up getting the vaccines, right? And then all of a sudden, we came all the way back down to 1680, where COVID started to calm down a little bit at that point, right? And then what happened? We had the tensions in Israel and Gaza, which pushed us all the way back up to the previous highs back in May and June, which is what we just retested right now, again with tensions with geopolitical politics pushing us right back up to retest those highs, right? The reason why we crashed over here was from very good NFP. We had a very nice surprise with NFP, which held resistance after retesting these highs, pushed us all the way down. We consolidated a little bit, and then this wick right over here, another very good NFP that came out, which pushed us all the way back down to 1680, making that a very significant level, as well as a previous resistance over here. Then, we ended up holding support over here. A lot of fear about inflation, stuff like that. There was a lot of fear about inflation during this move right over here as well, but it was mainly Israel and Gaza creating that those tensions. Now, again, Russia, Ukraine pushing us all the way back up to this area. Does everybody understand the fundamentals behind these moves on gold and why they're where they are? Or does anyone have any questions? I just want you guys to understand the background of these pairs and understand like why they're doing what they're doing. That adds confidence to your trades. I'm guessing nobody's saying anything. You all got it? Cool. All right, so we're going to mark off 1750. That previous support that was held. We're going to mark off 1830. Our previous resistance that we've been playing with. 1900, which is what we just retested. And then 1917, which is our previous wick on the monthly over here. So if you zoom in, you'll see what I'm talking about. Right here. Right. So we tapped into that area, but right now, as you guys can see, we're now rejecting 1900. Now, moving into the lower time frames, the reason why I don't think after yesterday's news that we just completely skyrocketed is because I think we're pretty much priced in. Like we were already expecting Russia to invade Ukraine over here, right? Which pushes all the way up. This is the beginning of February. We've been extremely bullish ever since, pushing all the way back up to 19, 16, 15, somewhere around this area, right? So being that everything's priced in, I think buyers are cashing out. We're now rejecting 1900. So we'll see where we go from there. That's all you got to know on the weekly. Now, what you have is 18. Like that right here. 1870. We'll make it. Previous resistance, support, resistance over here. Not to mention, wait, we got one more trend line I wanted to mark off. That will make sense to you guys in a second. So we've been in this bearish trend, or actually basically like a pennant, but printing lower highs over here, right? We've been respecting this market structure over here, and then we ended up breaking it off the news of Russia and Ukraine. We come down and retest it perfectly, hold support, and we just skyrocket right back up to 1900. So now we're holding support around like 1890, I would say. This area, the current daily candle already rejected that level, right? We're sitting and ranging around 1900, and we got to see where price is going to go from here. But we got a clean move to the left if we break that level, right? And where could we go if we continue bullish? Now, are we? Let me just adjust this. And I think Daniel, either Daniel or Kevin, I was talking to about like even numbers. I believe it was Daniel, where like, it makes sense in one area, but then you have that psychological number like 1890 where you can easily place your support. You might as well just adjust it to 1890. So now what we're doing is we're sitting inside of this range, right? Price is sitting back inside of this range. If this was the 30-minute, this would be very easy to diagnose. We're ranging, we break out of the range, we come down, looks like we're coming down to retest it. We grab liquidity over here, which is what I thought we were going to do yesterday to continue right back up. and I grabbed part of this move over here from this level. I'll break it down in a second, but I thought we were going to hold support here of 1890 and continue right back up to retest 1917 and possibly push through after what happened yesterday. But more things could be happening. We could still be holding support over here, right? And maybe printing a higher low over here. But right now, so far, there's no indication of that. All we see right now is that we are printing lower highs, right? That's all you want to know. And you're going to have safe buys on the higher time frames once we break 1900. And that's it. That's all you're waiting for. So again, same thing with GJ. What you can do as far as like swinging goes, maybe there might be an opportunity in that range for a quick scalp, short-lived scalp off breaking off a certain level, but these have to be setups that you're used to. But all you're looking for is just a break at this level, and we continue right back up to retest highs, right? Break at this level, clear move to that area. You may want to secure right here. Make sense? So that's your plan on the 4 hour as far as any kind of swing trades go. 1 hour, again, a little messy over here. We're still respecting bearish structure since reaching our highs up there, 1814. Printing lower lows, lower highs over here. We created this low, rejected 1890. I'm just gonna move that. We can actually just make like a something like this. Price rejecting this area multiple times. We now see this rejection, weak bullish candle, stronger bullish candle filling that wick. Now these candles are starting to turn around. All right, we're getting some bearish candles over here. This candle created its top wick already on the 1 hour, starting to flip bearish. All right, so can we be heading down to possibly fill this wick or this level right over here? And do you have enough range, which is one of our main questions on that checklist that I sent you guys yesterday. 22 pips, right? Looking at the 30-minute, this actually looks good, right? This may be a nice opportunity for you guys to take sells. What time is it? It's 8:41. So the 15-minute is going to be closing. This actually looks good. 15-minute is going to be closing in, let's see, 4 minutes. So I'm going to wait for this to close below this level. I think if we got to this, I'm trying to teach you guys how not to just like jump into trades as soon as you see them or as soon as you come to the charts. There you go. You want to wait for that close below this area. Typically, maybe I would have taken this if we already broke all this stuff down and we had this thing planned out. But we're not just going to jump into trades just because we see something happening. Or like you open your chart and you're like over here and you're just, let's picture you coming to your computer. And you're like, oh my God, I see something on gold. You know what? I'm going to miss this. I'm going to take this right now. All right. We're just going to take this now. All right. We're in. Let's hope this plays out. You guys don't want to be like that. Does that sound like a successful trader? Just like jumping into trades like that?
Yeah, that would be
just wait.
anxiety driven.
What was that?
That would be anxiety driven.
Very anxiety driven, very emotionally driven, right? Again, emotions have to do with just about every single decision that you make either in life or in trading. But as long as you can cut those emotions down as much as possible, you guys are going to have success, and you're going to see success not very quickly, but slowly over time. You're going to start gaining confidence because you can trust yourself not to make emotional decisions. You can trust yourself to cut those emotions back and make logical, rational decisions. For your account, your account's going to thank you. Your future's going to thank you. Your future self. Always think about your future self when you're making these decisions, right? So let's see if we get that close below this level, because we could possibly be coming down to retest anything in this whole area right over here. You do have possibly enough range. It's about 20 pips. That's not too much on gold as far as a range goes. So maybe, again, you want to stay out. We know we have this whole range that we're sitting in, just like we broke down in the daily. Actually, no, 4 hour. 4 hour, we have the consolidation, fake it out. We come right back into that range. And now we have a lot of indecision, sideways printing candles over here, right? Back to the 1 hour. 1 hour, these candles are getting weaker, or not weaker, but we're starting to flip bearish, but these candles are still very weak. right? So that's not telling you anything as far as, definite sales happening. You want a nice strong close on some of these candles for a price to take price down. You also have this level right here, which is why you cycle through the higher time frames multiple times. You have this level rejecting multiple times over here. This whole area, you can, I hate putting my zones like this, but that could very well be a guide for you saying like, maybe I should stay out of this range, right? We keep rejecting. We have all these wicks over here. Maybe we should stay out of here. And again, as you see, we're starting to react to that area right over here. Maybe we get a bullish close in the 1 hour. 30-minute candle holding support over here, right? We got a very rangy market. You guys know we already broke down the economic calendar. We don't have much going on today other than, what do we talk about today? Other than these conflicts over here, Russia, Ukraine, US and Canada imposing sanctions on Russia. Our equities are being down, which creates fear in the market, right? If you guys look at the VIX, you'll see the VIX is probably up right now. So right now we are holding support over here. Can we continue up? It's starting to get a little messy in here. And I don't know if I'd trade anything here, but I'd probably wait for this whole level to break out because, again, we're sideways. You do have this area right here that you want to close above, but again, very messy price action. Does that all make sense to you guys? Basically, what I'm trying to say, you should just stay out of this. Wait for 1900 to break. That gives you confirmation that we're going to be coming back up to possibly retest this area up here. You have an area like this over here too. And then you got a nice cleaner range, about 55, 60 pips. So very rangy market. I'm going to stay patient today. Does that make sense to everyone? Everyone following along?
Yep.
Awesome. Yeah, Jaden come in. What's up, brother?
Hey, bro.
How's your week going?
Fantastic. I'm so close.
So close to the challenge?
Yeah, I need like $200.
Yeah, dude, I'm very close as well. With that move yesterday on gold. Where was it? So yesterday on gold, again, let's pretend like this all didn't happen. We had that report coming out yesterday. Grab liquidity in this area once more. This candle started flipping bullish over here. And if you go down to the lower time frames, we ended up holding support right over here. That's the 1 hour. Nice strong 1 hour candle. Once we held support right over here, started pushing up over here. We come right back down to retest this area. That's where the report really started coming out around 10:30. I remember being in the car. Once we got this candle closed, I took this move right here. So I grabbed price from here, about 75 pips, right? This was my take profit. You had the previous resistance, support area, resistance over here. And then I got stopped at a break even. My take profit didn't get hit. I just secured up here and then stopped at a break even once we came down here. But I ended up closing most of it once we started breaking structure over here. But that move set me up like almost 4%. So now we're holding support over here. Looks like we're starting to break this bearish structure over here. Could we be just grabbing liquidity at 1890 again to continue right back up with further fear in the market? Again, safer buys are going to be above 1900, telling you that we could at least come to 1905 and then possibly 1912 and then 1917. I don't know why my magic keys are not working.
Oh no.
Like the calculator won't open up. Should we restart it? Jane, what are your thoughts on crypto right now? You have any?
Um, I I don't really know how to predict crypto with this war tension right now.
Yeah, right. I mean, we haven't been through that yet.
Yeah,
Other than like,
but
I don't
it's
know if
obviously reacting pretty well.
do you remember like were you looking at crypto back in like early 2020 when the whole Iran thing was going on with Soleimani?
Yeah, I don't
So
remember what was going on though.
let's see, 2020. That happened early, like January 2020. So we had, yeah, that happened like mid-January, early January. I remember that. It looks like we had a little pullback over here to potentially, or not potentially, but we skyrocketed it up from there. But I don't know if that had to do with that.
I think crypto will, if it's not right now, it will be a hedge against investor fear, you know,
It'll be a
like
hedge.
as like I think as like with political, I mean war tension and stuff like that and fears in the market, I think less trust in the fiat.
True. Makes sense. Dude, yeah, my magic keys are acting up right now. All right. So yeah, we'll see if we ended up breaking this bearish structure over here. But that doesn't mean that this isn't it either. Right? We could still be respecting bearish structure, but it looks like we're holding a higher low support so far. So if we start just breaking levels on Bitcoin, the problem is right now there's a lot of government getting involved with crypto and Bitcoin specifically, but also crypto as a whole, right? So that's obviously taking an effect. Oh, I'm tired. So gold is holding support over here. We're gonna close. This 30-minute candle could possibly close a strong bullish candle over here and continue right back up after holding support, rejecting this area. Again, we have tensions in the market. We had tensions yesterday, and what did we get around 10:30 when that report came out? Nice bullish run. Sellers or buyers took profit. We retrace all the way back, grab liquidity in this area once more, maybe, to then possibly continue up during New York volume today, right? And also, yeah, London was pretty bearish. London brought us right back down to 1889, and now New York is bringing us back up. We just corrected the entire London move. Still haven't heard from Sharma. We were supposed to be live with Sharma today. I mean, she's on the West Coast. But so is Jaden. Japanese yen. Okay, so yeah, we were just talking about GJ over here. I mean, personally, it's such a mess over here, like, with all these wicks. Let's see the 4-hour. Like, it's just kind of all over the place. What we're doing now is we're bouncing from 600, 156, 600 and 156,200. We're like sitting inside of this range over here. And it looks like we're retracing back. We got a strong bullish candle that closed right here above this level. And now this candle is coming right back into this range, right? So could we be getting a fake out to continue right back down and retest 156? The only thing is you have this whole level right here that you need to be aware of. Many wicks, right? Does that make sense to you, Jaden?
Yeah. It's a 1 minute time frame trade.
Yeah, it's, I mean, dude, this whole thing, pretty mad.
No, like the breakdown I just did is on the 1 minute. So like
Let's go down to the
I
one.
think
Let's see what we got.
I'm just going with that smaller or that 1 minute trend. You got lower lows, lower highs.
Yeah. Well, you got people pulling their money into the Japanese yen, especially after yesterday. Right. So that's you're gonna see that, especially during London right now. We tapped into 156,700. We've just been making lower highs over here, other than right here. A lot of just indecision. Right. The only thing is you just gotta see like what are these ranges? To retest this low is only 4 pips. This whole range right here is about 25 pips. Right. So if you do trade the 1 minute, and this is something that you guys got to back test before you start doing, but you know, it's the same exact price structure as the higher time frames. It's just weaker time frames and less confirmation, weaker confirmation. So like right here, if you're trading the 1 minute, could we be possibly coming up to here? And this is just like a liquidity grab after what we were just talking about, where price is sitting between 600 and 200 or 150. Yeah, this is just a mess. Any of this. Not even worth looking at, to me at least. Well, let's actually see. Jane, what's up? I'm pretty clueless when it comes to some of these Western like pairs and countries. What's a good NZD pair?
NZD pair, NZD USD.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I like it. It moves like the Aussie, I'm pretty sure.
True. So this over here.
I could see it selling off at 685.
685, yeah, right up here. Retesting some of these areas. It's a psychological number. But they increase rates. And they were also talking about increasing talking about a 50 basis point increase in rates. They did 25 yesterday, bringing it to 1.0 or 1%. So we'll see what ends up happening. NTD. Wow, imagine trading this. This is worse than GJ. This is the 4 hour. You guys really want to test your skill and emotions? Good luck. All right, while we have ranging markets, does anybody have any concerns or anything that they want to work on, anything they're confused about? Let's use our time wisely here and make sure that, you know, we're tackling some issues. Nobody's got anything that they're working on right now? How about psychology? Things going on in your personal life or business or with your work? And I know Rafa feels this way, but is anybody like just dying to get out of that job, out of that 9 to 5?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, Jaden's with it. Let's see that. Anybody else? Daniel, Kevin, or Daniel? You're going to school. Kev, Kat. Damn, you guys are quiet today. Yeah, once you oh shit. Here we go. Someone talking. 1,000%. Yeah, I bet. Dude, picture yourself if you hate your job that much, picture yourself 10 years from now still doing the same exact thing. Just picture that. 10 years from now, still doing the exact same thing. Being in your little hell that you think it is. It's a little hell. You go in, you clock in, do the same exact thing every single fucking day, and you just can't wait to get out. But guess what? You're still there 10 years later. Why is that? You're just not putting the work in. All right. So like try to reverse engineer, I guess you would say. It's the only way, only term I could think of. But try to all right, wait a minute, hold on. Before we go over that, we got gold right now. Just want to set something up if we have anything. What happened to my chart? That's weird. It's like an old chart over here. All right, so we're holding this support right over here, right? Bouncing off. Strong 4-hour candle so far. 1-hour candle. Again, we're starting to break out of this bearish structure. Strong 1-hour candle right over here. We just passed the high of the previous. So could we be continuing right back up over here? The 30-minute candle didn't even create a bottom wick yet. So let's see what happens with this as far as like holding resistance over here, because now we broke the first higher time frame. And when I say higher time frame, I'm talking about some of these stronger levels like the 30-minute. The 30-minute is the lowest level. That's the strongest, if that makes sense. Like once you get into the 15-minute, that's a weak time frame. So now we're starting to break this structure over here. Don't get FOMO of this move thinking that you're missing all this right now. Wait for this close above and wait for the retest. And like during New York Stock Exchange Open or something like that, you're going to be able to get a nice move here. Right? Especially with the tensions going on. Do we have any headlines coming out of Russia? Germany says it can do without Russian gas. That's a tall order. Russian corporations will no longer be able to clear. Okay, so further not tensions, but further sanctions are starting to be imposed on Russia from the UK. Looks like Germany is coming forth with something as well. And this is something we've expected, right? We've expected Europe to react this way. COVID fraud will cost UK as much as 15 billion. Look at this dude right here. Does this dude not look like a villain from a James Bond movie?
Yeah.
Right? Like the prototypical villain from, or he actually looks like the new James Bond. He actually looks like Daniel Craig.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit. But he just like, I remember playing those video games on PS2 when I was younger. The James Bond games, those are the best. Anybody remember those?
Never
Yes.
played them.
007 games. There was one where it was I think it was the last game that Pierce Bronson was the James Bond. They had Man on Fire, I think it was. What was the James Bond? It was the best. There was this one mission. It was this one, everything or nothing. And they had this mission. Dude, I used to play this so much. Had this mission. You were on a motorcycle and you had to jump over this bridge. I don't know. I'm just reminiscing right now. But this game was so good back then. I remember like thinking the graphics were like amazing. Is that Seal's wife? What's her name? Kat, you might know this. Heidi Klum?
Heidi Klum. Oh, I'm not sure.
Looks like her.
I'm so bad with names.
Alright. So anyway, we're gonna let's take a look at gold over here. Again, higher time frame stuff. If you guys want to play it safe, you know, we haven't had too many moves this week on some of our pairs over here, but 1900 is a level that I want you guys to be paying attention to here. For price to continue right back up for higher time frame setups. I would take profit somewhere around here. We have these wicks, but you know, if we get that break and close above 1900 and maybe get like a wick down and then the rest of the candle continues right back up from there, you could possibly grab that. But you know, this may be a range that you want to stay out of. If you guys are more experienced and you guys want to take possible scalps back up to 1900, just wait for that close above. I'm hoping you guys didn't get FOMO and just take this as soon as we pass the high. We also have 1895 here I want to mark off, where we had a previous support held over here, right? Resistance. And then we closed above that level. Could we be coming down and retest that to continue up? But this right here is a nice rejection. Plus, we have the fundamentals behind us that we could continue right back up from here. All right, guys. So we obviously have a dead of a session right now. So before we head off, I want to go through everything with you guys as far as the AARs we were talking about. We're at midweek right now. We're at Wednesday. Is everybody keeping up with those? Because on Friday, I'm going to text all of you guys on Slack, and we're going to go through your AARs of how your day went, whether it was the morning AAR, like the beginning of the morning, how your morning went, the session, and then the end of the day, right? How your whole day went. We're at the midway point. This is where it gets tough, right? It's very easy to have a good Monday. It's easy to have a good Tuesday. It gets a little bit harder on Wednesday. It gets really hard on Thursday because weekend's around the corner, and then it gets really hard on Friday. So as long as you can stay consistent, you guys are going to have that confidence to move into the next week and have another successful week. Are you guys making that much this week as far as pips and percentage gain or money or whatever you guys look at? No, because it's a very rangy week. But guess what? Like, you can have 3 rangy weeks, and then the 4th week of the month, you can have an amazing volatile month with a lot of volume pumping in the market and make way more than you made the entire month. You could do that in one day, right? With one good day. So just keep that in mind right now as far as, yeah, we grab liquidity. We're starting to head up over here on gold. Just stay smart. But anyway, as I was saying, like it's okay to have a week where you're not really trading too much. Is it hard to stay emotionally out of that or keep your emotions out of that? Absolutely. Because you guys want to make money. That's why you guys wake up every single morning. But guess what? Get your fix on the simulator. If you guys aren't trading in here and you're like, damn, I want to catch a trade. Like, I want to make some money right now. Or I want to like test my strategy out. Whatever the case may be. Go under the simulator on Soft4fx and go grow that account like a real account. Look at it like a real account. All right. So guys, keep up with those daily AARs. As soon as the session is over, you go down and you write in your trading AAR, right? On your nightly journal, get your morning AAR, trading AAR, and then end of day AAR. You're going to send me a voice message every single day. Did anybody not hear me say that the past couple of days, or the end of last week as well?
I heard it.
You what?
I heard it.
Yeah, you heard it. Yeah, you've been on all the live streams. You've been showing up. Anybody else?
I heard it too.
Cool. Because what we're doing here is, again, like I said in the beginning of the session, right? You guys are all pushing every single day to become better traders and trying to perfect your craft in the markets and trying to perfect your emotions and your logic and placing better trades, handling your emotions in the trades, all that stuff. I'm doing the same exact thing, and I'm also doing the same exact thing simultaneously with mentorship, trying to get better, trying to become a better teacher, a better leader, better coach, whatever you want to call it. Doesn't matter, but I'm just trying to get better every single day. So it's been about a year now, right? We hit our 1 year anniversary last month. So there's so much that I learned from last year of like what to do, what not to do, but I'm trying to find different ways to hold you guys accountable where you guys are constantly progressing every single week, not just staying stagnant and like having a really good profitable week and then a really bad week the next week, or a really good driven week where you're hitting your daily must, you're hitting everything that you need to every single day, and then all of a sudden the next week it's just stagnant, or having really good Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and then Thursday, Friday you just fall off, and then Saturday, Sunday you're doing whatever the fuck you want to do, right? So I want you guys to constantly be progressing. That's why you're in here, right? I want you guys to constantly progress every single day and every single week, every single month, quarter, and year, so that by the end of this year, as I said, I want you guys all to have the ability to trade full time by the end of the year. I know that sounds daunting to you, but it's possible. I'm not saying you're going to do it, but you have the confidence to do it, whether it's with your own money or with a funded account. All right, guys. So with that said, like I said, Friday I'll be checking in on all you guys, sending you DMs and asking for those recordings if you don't do it on your own. But guys, with that being said, stay safe in the markets. Maybe today is not a good day to trade. Maybe today you shut down the charts, you go over to your simulator and you get better that way. Or you go over to your journal and you study your trades. All right, guys?
Sounds good. Thank you.
Of course. All right, guys. Have a great day. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Bye. Have a good day.
Bye, guys.